Ready here? It looks like it's 4, 3, 2. I have to hear to click 1. Hello, I am Jenna.
I'm Dan.
And this was our Slow Lindy class
Yeah.
at School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
So we started off just talking a little bit about our movement. So we talked about for followers that I'm always in control of my own movement. My leader just helps manage it. So we talked about really moving your body in a way that works well for you and remembering that there's shoulders, chest, ribs, stomach, hips, knees, all these pieces that can move together or separately. And that by just choosing how you move those, you can really put your own kind of influence into the dance.
On the lead side, we talked about two things: avoiding motion death and also keeping a consistent motion. So keeping a kind of almost this swimming feel of always going somewhere. Yeah.
We also talked about not hitting our endpoints too quickly or too hard, right? We didn't want things to be sharp. We have all this time we can take to really flow through movements versus making them choppy.
We also talked a bit about posture, keeping this shoulders over knees over balls of the feet rather than hips under the body. And we talked about keeping pulse going all the time.
We then played around just keeping things in closed position, and closed position can kind of be away from each other closed position. And we can, again, influence how we move. Or closed position can get a little closer and still be Lindy Hop and not necessarily switching to other dances. Right? So we played with that.
Yeah. From there we went into, talked about where we put the compression in a movement. We used a tuck turn as the example movement. We put the wall really close to our partner. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we talked about different releases from there.
So we had our regular release, which we had this nice buildup of the compression and a nice release into the second part of the tuck turn, sorry. And then we had our followers make a choice to actually slow down the release part. So we waited until after the compression buildup. And then we had our leaders really wait for our followers to finish that movement and go from there.
Yep.
Followers, I talked about still going into the turn with my upper body so that I'm still creating the turn shape but then letting other things happen. There are other options. You just have to know that you might have to recreate that turn shape if you don't do that.
On the lead side, we talked about the negotiation. Whoever's falling first will kind of determine when that step ends, and putting weight gradually down rather than just in.
We then changed the wall point.
Yep. So further back, which will be a little less intense usually.
And then from there we had our regular release. And then we had our followers choosing to speed it up. Now again, waiting for the finish of that kind of wall compression and then speeding up out of it. And that way it's more clear for my leader that it's a choice I'm making and not just that I'm like running away from them.
Yep. Cool. I think
that covers it.
was it. Thanks very
so.
much, y'all.
Awesome, thank you.